Lonnie, did you just join?
Yes, I did.
All right. I think we got enough to get. Yeah, let's go ahead and get started. Good morning, everybody, and thank you for joining the call. Today, we were going to do some original UAT testing and training, but we had a couple just things we wanted to work through. We thought this would be a better platform to elicit your feedback, as well as show you what we've looked at over the past few years with our our eSLA system in the Department of Safety and Professional Services. We've been transitioning our customers this new platform. And tentatively, we're looking at June 28th for customers who are required to submit building and permit information under Act 211. They'll need to use the new electronic safety and licensing application. And again, this is a new platform. While eSLA will look substantially similar to our previous system, customers will need to update information and may need to use templates to continue building permits to the agencies. The exact changes for you experience depend on how you submit permits to our department. And also to help determine the next steps to take, we're offering training sessions, and on different days, we will have those scheduled as well. Subject matter experts will help walk through the changes and be able to answer some specific questions. And we've also asked everybody to get through the links. And again, this is part of our ongoing efforts to streamline our system for the permits. Getting your feedback is very important to us. And you will be an integral part of the UAT testing. That's basically proof testing the system before we do anything to go live. One of the things we look at is how this affects you guys as customers and how long it'll take, especially as third-party agencies, to get all the platforms out to your folks. Walk through that with those. That'll be critical as well. So feedback is good. Some of the other things, just there's not a lot of change to this. The biggest one you'll see is URL to DSPS permit systems. It will be in East. They'll be covering the code for the third-party portal software permits, inspection access codes for the DSPS permit system, requirements for applicants to complete applications, and inspector permissions to edit contact information. So that's just kind of a quick highlight overview. If nobody's got any questions, we will kick it over to Mike and he can lead us. Unless Etta or anybody's got anything they'd like to add.
Oh, I think, Mike, if you want to, your team wants to start the demo.
Yeah, let's see. Anand, are you?
Yeah, I'm here. So yes, so we'll be running a demo of the option 3, which is the web service call for this session. So this is more applicable to municipalities who use a third-party software for issuing the permits and then report the permits to DSPS using a web service. So I have my friend Osvaldo here. So what we'll be doing is, as we do not have a system which could mimic like how you would do in your system, we'll be showing how the data is submitted to this web service and then how it shows in the eSLA system. You can stop us anytime you have a question here so that we have your questions answered during the session itself. Now, Osvaldo, over to you, man. Osvaldo, you there? You're on mute.
Yes, I'm here. I'm just
Okay.
the mute button was lost. 1 second. Okay, I just started sharing my screen. Please let me know when you see it.
Yeah, I can see your screen.
Okay, great. Like Anand say, this is basically a mimic of the actual system, how we make calls to the application that we developed to insert the data, the permit data into eSLA. Basically,
Osvaldo,
yes,
probably you have to zoom a little bit more because the text are so small to see it.
sure. Let me
Your
try to,
resolution of laptop, maybe you have to change it. Thank you.
try to increase it a little bit. Let me just see. Uh,
Or you can put this in the Notepad++, increase the font so we can have a look
yes,
there as well.
that'd be good as well. Just put it in the notepad. Okay, yes. Like I was saying, this is the actual request that the application is accepting to insert the data into eSLA. You're probably familiar with this. This is a pipe separated data with all the information for the permit that is going to be inserted, as well as the Muni access key. These are uh, the two fields or the two variables that this application is accepting to insert the data there. Then, well, basically what we have is I'm going to be running it in my local right now because we have a little problem with the server, but this is going to be in the server anytime soon. We just got to work it out with the SPS. But anyways, whatever what I'm trying to do is just I'm gonna try to hit this service, and you'll see the response that we get from that service. um and then we can just look that permit or that number that the service returns into isla, and you can see what gets generated there. Let me just try to mimic our request. Okay, this is the response that we got. The permit number. This is in UID, I believe. Okay. So what I just did was I just logged in UIT. This is the environment where we created this record, and then I just searched for the response that we got from the permit, the creation of the permit that we got here. Just search for it, and then this is basically what we just sent through the application. And then you want to just explain a little bit all these details.
Yes. So as you're aware, there are a few things I'd like to add here to what Osvaldo just showed. We have we are mo- we are moving from the old Act 211 system to eSLA system. It's a different platform altogether, but we have made sure that there is no change, no major change in the application functionality or the way you call the web service. So all you need to do is to replace the current URL with this new URL. Rest everything remains the same. Technically speaking, it's the same. It's the same format, same WSDL for the SOAP service. Only endpoint has. It's more of technical jargon at this point, but we have made sure that it behaves the same way. Only thing that has changed is the URL of the service. But now coming back to how the data looks in eSLA is you'll see that it has generated a new number, which the service responded as it used to do earlier as well. It's a DIS number, start 0621, and then a number. Then all the details are here. You will be able to see what type of project it was. Currently, we just did one for the new, and we did it for our occupancy garage. So you see both these checks marked. It was linked to village of Bangor because that was the municipality we used for this demo purpose. And then what type of permit it is. It is for construction and HVAC. Parcel number details as it came in the Excel file are also stamped here. as well as the approving, who's the approver, like approver jurisdiction, what was the type, uh, municipality name is nothing but the ID here. And the other details that you see here, Wisconsin permit number, etc. And you can see that approved for construction, HVAC, and erosion. So these are the things that came in. Then we also have the fee related information, which comes from the service. So we have saved all those information as well here. It's plan review fee, inspection fee, uh, permit fee, other fee, and total fee. Apart from that, we also receive a lot of other information related to like who are the contractors. So for this example, we filled all. So that's why you see 7 here. So those 7 are stored here and saved in the application. Osvaldo, can you open one of the affiliations? Any? Yeah, the second one looks good. So this is the information that we store for these affiliations. By affiliation, I mean different contractors, which are different contractors who worked on this system. So we have information like their phone number, email, credential number, which company they belong to, so on and so forth, and their addresses as well, zip code. Okay, Osvaldo, can you go back? Yeah. So 7. Then we also have then we also receive information about the project, like what the project was, the technical information about the project that we store as equipments. Osvaldo, can you click on the equipment? Yeah, so here you see all the information that came in. We basically filled everything that was there in the web service field. So all that information you'll be able to see here, like what was the area related information, construction types, number of stories, electric information, the walls related information, what's the use, HVAC equipment, sewer, water, energy source, so on and so forth. So basically all the technical information related to that project happening for which this permit is requested is stored at the equipment level. Can we go back to, yep. Scrolling down, we also have the address here. Can you click on the parcel? Yeah, so what the project parcel? By that, I mean the address where the project is happening is also stored here. So you can see the details here. Osvaldo, can you make a note of this? So this is, we also store the address related details. Go back to the permit, please. Yeah, so this is the information that is reported to DSPS, and they'll be able to see it in the system, all the information that you report. We also do a set of validations, like if it is a like what are the required fields for the system, and so on and so forth. I don't remember all the validations on top of my head, but the validations are also done during this import. And if there are any errors, then we report those errors to the web service again. The same old way, there has been no change in that process as well. So everything essentially remains as is except the URL. Okay, that's basically all I wanted to talk about. Do you guys have any questions on that? We'll run a few more examples, but just wanted to understand if you guys have any questions, anything, any feedback for us.
Hello, this is Etta. I just want to confirm, are the municipal inspectors going to have access to this back office page, or will they be looking at this information through the municipal workspace?
So for option 3, where they submit only the information using web service, they are not going to have any access to eSLA.
Okay, can we show them then the municipal workspace where they'll actually be viewing this information? Because it sounds like they're not going to actually be viewing this information in this format. They're going to be viewing it through the municipal workspace.
Option 3 is web service. So they take applications and process those applications in their municipal systems. And once they approve it, it comes to eSLA. So they do not get to see any of the eSLA screens. Although we can definitely show it, but I just wanted to clarify this before we move ahead. Like people, or basically the municipalities who are using web service option, are basically using their own systems for issuing, for basically processing the applications for UDC permits, and they report this using the web service. So basically, that's the only interaction they have with eSLA. They don't get to see the eSLA part of municipality dashboard or basically customer facing because they don't use it.
Exactly right. I totally agree. And I'm glad you clarified that for the group. They will have access to the municipal workspace though, in the event they wanted to look at
Yes.
the application. Yeah, exactly. Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
Mike, would you mind showing us that? I'm not very proficient with that.
Sure. Okay. Let me know if you can see my screen here.
I can see your screen.
Okay. All right. So all municipalities will be able to, this was in the UAT environment, correct, Anand? That you,
Yes, Mike.
Did
The
the file
one which
upload?
we imported
Okay.
was in UAT. Yes.
so whether you're in UAT or another environment, there's a portal community login page, and up at the top, there will be a UDC municipal login link that you can access. And then similar to, let's see, where village. Very similar to the current Act 211 system, be able to search for the municipalities. And you'll have an access code in order to be able to access that. And then you can log into your municipality workspace. And then you can search by the different statuses and filing numbers, submitters, and by date. So what was this one here? 319, which is the one that was just uploaded here. And then you can go to the manage permit. And then basically you can print you can either delete or you can print the permit details from there. And I think that's really about it on the API upload side. Any questions regarding that? If not, I think that's about it as far as what option 3 municipalities can do in the municipal portal.
Hey, Mike, I would like to add a few things here on the web service part of it. So as you guys are aware, you guys are you're going to use the option 3, which is the web service. So there's going to be a small change that need to be made into your current system so that whenever you approve an application or whatever your process is, it sends the data to the new web service instead of the old ones. Also, because you guys will be testing it, if you guys have a test environment where this change can be made first, and once you put the applications in the test environment, submit those, and we'll be able to see, DSPS would be able to see those applications in the eSLA test environment. So basically, this is an activity that needs to be performed by municipalities. Have you guys got a chance to set these things up, or basically talk to your IT service providers about that?
I think this is kind of their
Who are
first,
you, who are you asking that to?
I think this is kind of their first introduction to it. So I don't know, Dennis, I don't think Dennis has asked them yet to set up a testing environment. Dennis can chime in though if I'm wrong.
No, we have not asked, but that's one of the things, the outcomes of this meeting is we'd kind of like them to get started on that portion of it and provide feedback so we can actually get some UAT testing going, and also the feedback from their customers as well is crucial to this. And when we actually get started on this.
Okay, Dennis, I would like to take one more minute now that what needs to be done here to talk about those parts. So this is for municipalities who are using option 3. So basically, these municipalities have their own IT systems, and this new URL, and you might have a test environment as well, where whatever upgrades you guys make, you test there and then move to production. So those test environments, you need to talk to your IT service providers to point to the eSLA test environment. We can provide all the technical information related to what is the web service, where it is hosted, and all those details. And then your IT provider switches to that URL in the test environment. You process a dummy app, a few test applications there, submit those, approve those, and those get submitted to eSLA, and then you are able to see those exactly the same way. All the information matches in eSLA as you submit it. So that process, I just wanted to run through you guys that this needs to be set up in your test environment, so that this whole end-to-end, like you submitting the information in your system test environment comes to eSLA test environment, all the information matches, all the important things are matching. If there are a few validations, like if it's a electrical related permit, electrical contractor details are provided or not, these kind of validations that are done, you submit a few electrical permits without without electrical contractors, see that it fails. If everything is successful, you receive the new permit number from eSLA, and if whatever process you guys continue, it is happening seamlessly for your organization or not. So this basically comprises an end-to-end test where a municipality receives an application, processes an application, approves it, data comes into eSLA, successfully saved in eSLA, and then sent the information back that yes, everything was good. This is the new permit number in eSLA. So that is something that needs to be set in and I just highlighted the steps that need to happen from the municipality as well to test this fully from all the aspects of like who's sending and how it is getting processed. Any questions there? Okay, if no questions, then I'll pass it on to Dennis. Back to you, sir.
All right. And so does anybody from either Marshfield or General have any questions?
I do not.
No, I do not either.
Okay. Is there anything you need to add?
I guess just checking some queries on here too, just checking. if this is something that you guys think is doable about being able to test this, in what kind of time frame do you think we'd need to set up this testing environment?
I've got a couple of questions, and I also have Abby from our IT department here as well. He's got some questions. Circling back to what are the dates for this testing and implementation, when this is going to change over? Right now, we're currently using option 2. We're in the process of switching software vendors with a go live date of sometime between the 1st and 15th of July. So right now, our vendor is trying to connect with the old system and has been having some trouble with that. Really would like to, well, I got the group of smart people from the state on the line here, implore somebody to reach out to our software vendor and help us get past that. But just looking for some idea of timing with this, just so we know what direction we have to go in. And then my second question was, are you going to be doing a webinar or any type of rundown like we're doing today, available to those software vendors out there?
I can take a stab at that, and if Etta, you can fill in the gaps. So what we're looking at is, tentatively we had a shutdown period of the 23rd of June through the 28th, but when we're looking at everything that was going to take on you guys aside from getting back to your vendors and customers, we realized that would push the schedule tight, especially with the UAT testing. The Deloitte team will need time to actually proof test, and then if there's bugs and stuff associated with this, to get it so it's up and running prior to any shutdown and release. Another thing too is we need your feedback on how long it'll take for your IT folks to get it integrated into your system. We do have 3 webinars scheduled for the end of June, and tentatively we could use those for our UAT testing instead of the webinars, and then we'll just have to have more. We'll add additional webinars to bring other folks in. Is tentatively what we're looking at. So that's kind of where we're at. So we do need your feedback on how long you guys think it'll take to get your IT and support staff on board with the newer software and the integration.
Has the Dennis, has the white paper or instructions or anything behind this been published yet? I guess I need to know what I got to take to or put it in their hands so they can give us an idea of what it'll take.
I would ask, I think Deloitte has got a pretty good handle on that at this point. I think the biggest thing is getting the UAT test, so we can proof test the system, get the if there's any bugs that occur, so we can get those fixed as well, and then push that out. And if Deloitte would rather speak on that, that's just from my summary of how I would see that.
Brian, we have some documents that we can give you for this testing period, that, you know, this like pre-production testing environment that we're asking you guys to set up. So we can give you a little bit of documentation for that, but I think the key for this option 3 is, and I know you're kind of in a unique situation because you're switching options from option 2 to option 3, but option 3 is the main takeaway here is that very little is changing for your side. So the code is staying, from what I understand, the code is staying the same. The only thing that's really changing is that we're now moving to that eSLA link. So if you wanted to look at the permits from the eSLA side, that's that last thing that they demoed for you. The access to that is a little different, but everything else should be the same because that code isn't changing.
Okay, because one of the problems our vendor had with working on trying to set it up to the current system was the template that's provided apparently has some fields that are required that aren't shown as required on the template. And I apologize, I'm not trying to throw anybody under a bus here, but they've been trying for about 2 weeks to get a hold of somebody to get this resolved. We're kind of sitting in a standstill until we get some feedback from the state side as far as what's going on.
if you want to follow up me directly after this meeting, or let's do it. I got another meeting right after this, but if you want to do it sometime this afternoon, I can help you guide you through that.
All right, can I call you right back when we're done, Dennis? Because I'm short on time today, unfortunately.
Like I say, I got to jump into another meeting. If you can catch
Oh.
me, you can. If not, it'll have to be this afternoon. I apologize. I'm back to back on meetings. Actually, I'm should another one right now. So
Dennis, what's your cell phone, if you don't mind?
608-225-8469.
Okay. And I don't mean to sound redundant to the group, but if I understand this correctly, the only thing that we have to change essentially is the URL. Once we get the other issues resolved, the hard coding as far as what fields and what format and all that should be unchanged.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, thank you. I don't know, Abby, did you have any other questions?
No, I think that's our main issue. I think we're ready to start testing if we can just figure out, like, if we know what the new URL we need to use is for the test environment, we're ready to start testing if we can figure out our issue with the fields that appear to be required, but they don't seem to be required in the documentation.
Hey, Brian, this is Zach from DTIT. I can speak to that. And Abby, I can speak to you guys' questions. The email that you guys sent, I kind of forwarded to Mike McNally, and I think here's the catch-22 for you guys. I know you want to switch from option 2 to option 3 in the old system, but now you're going to turn around and test in the old system, and then right away you're gonna have to test in this new system. So that's kind of how I'd ask Mike McNally, kind of just to see, or I'd ask him if anything was communicated to municipality that we are changing systems. So try to avoid that you guys doing the double work, because even if we clear up what's the required fields, not required fields in the old system, then you guys can do testing in that. But then I believe you said you're planning to go to switch in July. But then at that time, we may or may not be in this eSLA system. That means we require you guys to test now against the eSLA system. If you guys understand what I'm trying to say here.
Sure, and I think we're happy to start testing in the new system, right, Brian?
That's kind of what I was hoping, that like once this comes out and gets communicated, you guys will be the first one to test against the eSLA system rather than testing against the old web service. But that's just my suggestion from my point of view, and I think it should be up for discussion if that kind of works for you guys, or and how like Dennis and the rest of the group and Deloitte sees it. Because I think you guys will play a critical part in testing both ways for the new system and you guys connection wise.
Yeah, in full disclosure, that's why I was really asking about a kind of a quote unquote go live date, because as soon as our vendor is ready, which is going to be somewhere in, I don't have a hard date, but it's going to be between the 1st and the 15th of July. We're taking our permit system live, so we'll have to test both systems and, you know, be ready to go live, pointing to either the old system or the new system, and then switch once you guys are ready to switch. Because once we go live with this system, we won't be using option 2 anymore.
I think it sounds like this new system might go live before you switch to your new system. And I think that's what Zach's getting at, is about how it's a little tricky for you. And if you have to start with, you know, switch to option 3 with the old system.
I don't mean to interrupt. I've got a situation here. Abby, could you finish off this call for me, please?
Sure.
Thank you. Sorry.
So yeah, I mean, Abby, if you I know, I think you and I have worked before on some of the connection from City of Sun Prairie and stuff like that. So if you want to have a meeting, or if you want to, I mean, we can have a separate discussion. Obviously, I'm just from the IT department, but we'll include Mike McNally or Dennis or Eda, and just see how what fits you guys the best. You know, do you guys want to do testing for both systems? Which it's fine if that's what you guys want to do, or do you guys just want to concentrate on, say, okay, since the end system for DSPS is going to be eSLA system, which is a Salesforce platform related, do we just want to start pointing our effort testing against that because we know that's going to be up and running and the old system is no longer going to be in existence? Oh,
Yeah, if you guys are going live before us, I mean, I think we could just test in the new system. How, I guess the question would be how certain you are that you'll go live at the end of June. Are you fairly confident that that will happen? Probably depends on testing, huh?
yeah, I mean, that's, I'll leave to Dennis and Deloitte. I'll let them answer, speak to that.
I think after this, we'll probably go through these three options this week, and then we can make a better informed decision. I hate to, I don't want to get ahead of ourselves.
Yeah.
And then have those folks not have their IT folks be able to do their part of the integration. And especially, I think the testing is crucial. So I think we really need to make sure we're on top of that as well. So.
Okay. Well, we can definitely test in both. I mean, if it's safest, we can just test in both of them too, if that's what we need to do. Mostly, I think we just need, yeah, mostly, and I don't know, yeah, if we can set something up in a separate call to talk through things, that might be best. Mostly, we're just struggling with knowing what data we need to submit and how we need to submit it. I think like the formatting is all set up, so which URL we point it to is not a huge deal the way I understand it. It's just how we submit the data that we're struggling with, so.
Hey, Abby, we can have a meeting after, I mean, sometime today on, I think Eda will set something up and we can address the issues, your questions regarding the fields for the old system, and then we'll go from there.
Okay, sounds good.
Dennis, what are next steps for the information, anything that we're going to be providing the group, or when we want to hear back from the group about their testing environment?
We'd like to hear back from the group about their testing environment as soon as possible. I think the one thing that we need to, we'll get our UAT testing and all that stuff. We'll get out dates for that as well. And then their integration, and if they can give us feedback on how long it'll take them to, from an implementation standpoint. So that's kind of where we're at on this.
Are there any other questions?
Will you be sending us the link to the new URL so that we can set up the test, or is that something that we just set up the test site and then wait for that information?
We can send that information for the test web service. We can do that.
Okay.
And I'll send steps, just kind of for what they demoed today, which you may or may not utilize, but I'll send steps for those anyway.
Well, if there's no other questions, we thank everybody for their time, and we'll get the information out to you guys. Be looking forward to some testing appointments in the near future. Anything else? Otherwise, I'm going to close the call.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.